Hi, it's Michael from Moose Monk PR, editor of PunchlineGloucester.com, and welcome to Punchline Talks. Today I'm with the Chief Inspector of Gloucestershire Constabulary, Rod Hansen. Hello, Rod. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mark.
Thank you ever so much for the invite today. One of the things that was talked about was about the level of serious crime. Can you tell us about that, please, here in Gloucestershire?
Yeah, so the S is an important word, serious organised crime. So, it ranges from online crime, fraud, but extends to some incredibly serious and personal crimes, modern day slavery, human trafficking. It can involve poaching, very violent acts of poaching and, harvesting meat from boar or deer at almost an industrial scale. We know that it extends to groups gambling online with how many hares they can kill in a single night, laying them out and gambling on that. And it can extend to more traditional crime types that involve drugs, firearms, smuggling people, trafficking people, and ripping ATMs out of village walls using often stolen construction equipment. So it's a broad spectrum of criminality. It's all serious. It all has a huge impact on society, and it can generate significant fear.
Now, one of the things that you said also in the conference earlier was there's like 40 different groups here in the area. Is that right?
Yeah, 17 organised crime groups mapped within the county, many more across the region, and several thousand nationally. They're mapped very specifically. There are the right sort of tactics are used against them because they do vary in their sort of method of operating. But 17 in the county, that doesn't include high intensity users or high intensity offenders, or also urban street gangs, but 17 mapped organised crime groups. It can vary from month to month because we are successful at interdicting, disrupting or destroying some of those groups. Other ones then tend to flow in to take their place. So that's fundamentally what Endeavour is about. Clear, Hold, Build is making sure that when we're successful individually as an organisation, when we're successful with our partners, we clear some territory, we hold it, but then we build a new community, a better community that isn't blighted by criminality, and that sustainability is key here.
And how can the business community or the wider community help the police in doing that?
Well, stay alert to what's happening in their communities. They will employ people who come from communities that could be affected by organised criminality. If you care about your employers, care about what's happening to them, encourage them to report it, support the local police where you can, support the Constabulary and its partners. We're all here to keep the community safe so that we can come to work, or we can relax and enjoy, or just return to our homes. And businesses are a fundamental part of the fabric of a community, and taking an ATM out of a village could be the last straw for a community if they've seen the post office go, or if they've seen the police station close. All that they've got left perhaps is something like that, and it gets removed. So I think we all have a responsibility to understand, empathise with our communities, and where we can, get behind or in front of them to support them.
Now, one of the big things I've heard, and obviously out there as well, is about retail crime. A lot of talk before how police didn't turn up. I know you guys are really trying hard to tackle that now.
Yes, we absolutely are. We don't dismiss any crime, and it's more of a question of demand and capacity. It ebbs and flows according to the weather, according to what's happening elsewhere in the country. We can be affected by incidents, and there have been a number of very sad and tragic incidents just this week, and it can have an impact on what we have to deal with on a daily basis. Quite a lot of our incidents, I should say, are not crime related. So up to 30% of our incidents are non-crime related. Looking for missing people every day. We look for about 6 to 8 people a day before we start work. Helping people with mental health episodes in society, responding to people in road traffic collisions. It's all about saving life and keeping people safe from harm. But we've also got crime to deal with as well. So we are never not interested in any crime. We want it reported. We want to do the best we can for our victims and support witnesses where we can find them. But it's often just a question of capacity and prioritisation. So,
is there a particular level of crime that you're seeing at the moment? I mean, fraud, I talk about fraud all the time. There's the dark web as well. But for the police here in Gloucestershire, is there a sort of area that is rising more and more, you're seeing more of?
Well, I think for us as an organisation that has a finite resource, and how we use that well matters. Everything is important to somebody in policing. Nothing is trivial. But what we're finding is that crime is becoming more complex, more personalised, So as well as traditional crime types like burglary, theft, robbery, neighbour dispute, we've got that. But as well as that, we have modern day slavery, human trafficking, honour-based violence. You've talked about the dark web and crimes online. They take more time. It needs more time with victims because it's deeply personal, and that extends the amount of time we have available to deal with other incidents. So it's as much about the complexity and the changing nature of crime as it is about the actual volume and numbers.
And what about fraud as well? I used to hear that you were very short of fraud officers, and one of the things that Chris Nelson wants to do is recruit a few more of those as well. Is that happening? Is that in process?
Yes, so fraud is a very significant crime type. It's sometimes very difficult to investigate because it could be perpetrated from overseas via perhaps a server in a hostile state. And the victims sit within the UK or within our county. So it needs a lot of support from industry specialists. It needs support and understanding from those who can help us find ways to prevent it more than perhaps investigate it. Where we can investigate it, we do. We have some great successes. It's the volume though, and if we can prevent people from becoming victims of a pension scam or a local fraud, then working with partners is the route to doing that.
Rod, thanks ever so much for today. Really nice to meet you again.
Thank you, Mark.
And all the very best with your endeavours.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.